9 things you need to do before you retire, according to After50finances.com. I came across this article a while ago. It's just been sitting there in my to-do list to talk about because there's a couple things I think is informative and a couple things I want to take some issue with. But it's a good article, and I want to go over that. I just said, man, I got to knock this out because it's literally been sitting on my other computer on my open tabs is drawing space. So, all right, I don't know anything about After50finances.com. Comfortable retirement, even if you haven't saved. I kind of like hearing that. That's good. So that's my kind of stuff. This guy by Gary Foreman. I don't know him, but see what they got. So you're at that stage in life where you're starting to think about retirement. Congrats! If you're like me, when you were 20, it was hard to imagine working 40 years or so before you could retire. Truth is that those years go by fast. Now you're getting close to the finish line. Man, I'm 48 and a half, my friends. Now 48 in 10 months. That means I have 13 years before I'm first eligible for Social Security, which is nuts. I mean, just for me, I still feel like I'm freaking 25 years old. It's awesome. But that doesn't mean you can just sit back and relax until that day comes. You still have some things to take care about. Preparation, that can mean the comfort retirement you love. Here are 9 things you need to do before you retire. Number 1 is get out of debt. Could not agree with that more. Debt is a killer if you're on fixed income. Credit card minimum payments, auto loans, student loans, and mortgages all take the first dollars you have each month. You must pay them no matter how tight your budget. Chances are that income after retirement will drop in perhaps a significant amount. If you're unable to pay these debts now before you retire, what chance will you have after retire? 100% agree. Do whatever you can within the law to repay any debts before you retire. I 100% agree with that without question. Pay off debt before you retire if you can, if at all possible, for sure. Certainly consumer debt, credit cards, loans, personal loans, car loans, and things like that. Estimate, this is where I kind of disagree. Estimate how much retirement income you'll have and make necessary adjustments. I think I would phrase this differently. I would say estimate how much retirement income you'll need. You start with how much you need, not how much you have. But I see where he's going with this, and I'm not challenging there. I don't like, I have this. I don't care how much you got. I care how much I need. While we all look forward to not having to show up for work, let's face it, we will miss the paycheck. And that's why it's vital to estimate how much income you'll have in retirement. Again, I agree. I think that's putting the cart before the horse. The common source of retirement income includes Social Security and whatnot. Yeah. For many retirees, Social Security is a major element of their retirement income. Although it's never meant to be the sole source of a retiree's income, many try to live on Social Security alone. And see, I get, man, why did people keep saying it was never meant to be something? Who cares what it's meant to be? I mean, I don't understand why we get, it was never meant to be this. So what? It is. It is what it is. It was never meant to pay 7.65 to FICA either, but we are. So why do people get so caught up in that? There's only supposed to be 30% of your portfolio, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay. Well, that was back when it was only paying 1% taxes. All right. Will you have any pension benefits coming away? You want to contact the pension administrator to find out how much you receive and what you'll need to be. All right, you get that. Next, you want to estimate how much your retirement savings accounts can provide each year. As a general rule, financial advisors say you can expect to take 4% of your investments each year without depleting them. I hate this idea that we're so. Oh man, I got something on my. I hate the idea that we're so focused on the 4% rule as if it's freaking God's spoken word. The 4% rule consisted when Treasury bonds are paying more than twice they are now. It had a 60 to 40% stock to bond ratio throughout retirement. It adjusted each and every year with a rate of inflation. Can we stop this 4%? I get it. It's a nice place to start. But it's meaningless after year one because all these other things are simply not going to be what you're going to find in your own living experiences. It's not. You might say I have $100,000 so I can take $4,000 a year out. Why? That's 4% rule. What's the 4% rule based on? Well, I just told you. Is that what your current asset allocation is? No, I get all CDs. And the 4% rule is not adequate. It's absolutely wrong. Hey, if you have other passive income sources, you want to add them to your income estimate. You also may choose work part-time. You want to take off, okay. Let's see. They talk about retirement calculator from simpleplan.com. Okay, so again, they're talking about to see how much income you'll have. And I say how much income you need. Decide when you'll begin to take Social Security. For most of us, Social Security would be a major part of our income. Okay, we talk about Social Security a lot here. I thought this was kind of interesting. He only gave a paragraph, it looked like, to this discussion, basically one paragraph on Social Security. So he's got a tool on here he recommends using. I can't link to that. It's weird. Okay, I have to. Hold on just a second. What is that tool he's got? Let me look at my other computer. So he's got a tool on this Social Security thing here. And let's see what the tool is he's using. And that's from 50finances.com. Their Social Security tool. Okay, you might want to click on that. It looks pretty good. Maybe something worth clicking on. All right, create a budget based on your new income. Again, this is what I start with number one after paying off debt, because you are going to need to calculate how much you need. If you're like most people, you don't like the idea of a budget, but at this stage of your life, a budget is really just a plan for your financial future. Now, I agree with that. Now, here's where I disagree quite a bit, actually. As you get older, other expense. Oh, I'm sorry, right here. Bear with me just a second. Expect your monthly expenses to change when you retire. All your work-related expenses, transportation, work, clothes, lunches will cease. Depending on your work, those expenses can be significant. I 100% agree with that. And forget FICA and taxes as well. Those will go. But you're likely to take on some new expenses. Many retirees for years have dreams of the travels they'd like to have when they have the time. Others throw themselves into hobbies. As you get older, other expenses can increase. I agree with that. Depending on your age and when you retire, Medicare may cover many of your medical bills, but not all. You'll probably want to buy one of the supplemental plans that are available. Just remember the difference between supplemental and Medicare Advantage. That's why I talk to someone like J.O. or Daniel, Daniel from Boomer Benefits. I always draw a blank what her last name is. If you're planning on downside, you'll need to include those changes to your expenses as well. All right, save like crazy. Okay, so you're getting ready to retire, and now you're going to save like crazy. And this is what drives you crazy right here. Many of us haven't saved enough for retirement. Well, says who? Fidelity Investments suggests that you have 8 times your average salary saved by the time you reach 60. According to the Census Bureau, the average net worth of Americans aged 55 to 64 is $45,000. So most of us are nowhere near the goal, but yet these people are still retiring. How could this? I mean, look, I'm not taking on Gary. Was his name Gary? But I'm not. How could this possibly be that most of us need to have 8 times our salary, and yet we're all retiring, and we're not all living on freaking dog food and cat food out there? I mean, there's literally something fundamentally wrong with a picture that all of us are broke and could be destitute because we don't have what Fidelity says 8 times salary, and yet we know people who are retiring every single day to the clip of like 10,000 a day, and the vast majority of these people are getting by. How can that possibly be? Even if it means sacrificing, now's the time to do everything you power your save. Passing up that all-inclusive vacation or cruise for the next few years can make the trips you want making after retirement more affordable. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I mean, again, I get what he's saying, but man, if this might be the only time you've got. If you've been neglecting to take that cruise for 25 years, like, no, let's wait another 5 years, husband. 5 years might not be here, my friend. So don't put that off now just because you think in 5 years you can do it then. Take advantage of catch-up clauses that allow you to contribute more. Yeah, or you may even want to consider a part-time job. We're going on YouTube, all right? Review your estate plan. Again, 2 paragraphs here, and I don't like that. I think the estate plan is a big deal that needs to get front and center on your horizon for sure. Every adult should have a will, a power of attorney, and appropriate medical directives. As important as you age, with the lifestyle changes you will experience in retirement, it's a natural time to review your end-of-life planning. Make sure you get competent advice when creating your documents. You don't want your heirs to find out that the DIY will you prepared isn't valid. They recommend getting professional estate planning help. If paying a professional is not in your budget, use this estate planning package. Here's the issue. I take issue with this. Every adult should have a will, power of attorney, and appropriate medical directives. Well, guess what? Even if you have one, it might not be up to snuff. It might be out of date. Florida, was it 2009, 2010, or was it Georgia in 2014? They changed their state law significantly for various estate planning documents. So you got to keep up to snuff with that. if yours is 20, 25 years old, you have a will, power of attorney, and Medicare medical directives. It might not be as valid as what you think. So you need to update your will and durable power of attorney, medical directives, a living will. Again, a living will is a right to die clause. You need to get all that stuff in order. Absolutely. Plan for changes in your medical insurance. And this is the big one here. At some point, you'll be transitioning to Medicare. You'll be eligible for Medicare when you reach 65. So if you retire before 65, you'll need to make provisions, looking at the ACA or other options for sure. Or or COBRA, maybe retire at 63 and a half, go to COBRA for 18 months, or maybe retire at 63, go to COBRA for 18 months and be without health insurance for 6 months. Oh, heavens to purgatory, whatever that, heavens to purgatory, you're going to have no health insurance. Oh, we've done it for many years in this country, and people got by. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying, hey, it's not going to be the worst thing ever happen if you go without medical insurance for 6 months. Prepare for lifestyle changes. Yeah, I agree with that. You'll face decisions where to live, whether to work part-time, how to spend. You may be thinking about these questions I've been thinking about for quite some time, but now's the time to finalize your plans and then decide what's on your bucket list. All right. So, and then he finally says, just enjoy your retirement. And I agree with all that stuff. I mean, by and large, I think the issue that you have to conquer is, how much are you going to need in retirement? I mean, literally, how much are you going to need? Well, I don't know. I get it. You don't know. That's 100% right. You don't get a gauge, though, if you're not factoring your taxes, you're not factoring your 401k contributions, you're not factoring commute in and out of the office, you're not factoring your office lunches and whatnot. What could replace that? That might be you taking your wife to lunch every week, or buying, I don't know. Look, I don't play golf. I have no idea how much golf costs. Maybe play golf. I have literally no idea. But my inclination, for me, I'll pick up hobbies like, I'd like to build a greenhouse back there, a nice one for sure. And I'll probably do that before I retire. But let's just say I'm 62 years old and thinking about retirement. I know I want a nice greenhouse. I know it's going to cost a bit of money, but certainly it's not going to be more expensive than my FICA, my tax, and my 401k. So, yeah, a pretty good article. I don't overlook the estate planning. Just because you have this stuff done doesn't mean it's still up to snuff. You got to make sure that your estate documents are in good order, because your states change. If you move from California to Oregon law could be different than California. What if you move from a common law to a community property state? What if you move from a community property state to a common law state? What if you move from Texas to Louisiana, or Louisiana to Texas? Louisiana has its own stuff. You got to understand that. So I'll put a link in the show notes for this, but 9 steps you should do before you retire. Excuse me, just sneeze. I hope you find this of interest. And it's probably not a bad idea to click on their little Social Security link that they have in there. All right, we'll see you next time.